This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Hello and welcome to this edition of The Hub on CGTN. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. Our guest today is the winner of Ballon d'Or, the champion of the UEFA Champions League, and the champion of FIFA World Cup. He's none other than the Brazilian football legend, Ricardo Kaká. Our conversation began with his China trip.
我叫徐继文，今年12岁，现在6年级。大家通常都叫我徐大碗，因为他们觉得我吃的比较多，所以就叫我徐大碗。然后我家里有一个弟弟和一个妹妹，然后呢还有爷爷。
This is Xu Jingwen's first time in Beijing. She and her teammates attend primary school in a remote mountainous village in Dafang County, Bijie, a prefecture-level city in Guizhou province. A long, winding road connects the village to the outside world. Like Xu, many kids here are so-called left-behind children. They grew up without one or both of their parents who went to find work in big cities. However, a new chapter unfolded as an unexpected craze for football was sweeping the school. In 2017, Xu Zhaowei, a volunteer teacher working at Yuanbao Tongxin Experimental Elementary School, organized a football team and named it Team Yuanbao.
在2017年一次偶然的机会，就是爱心人士捐了2个足球，然后孩子们就问我说：“哎，老师，这是干什么用的？”我说：“这是足球。”他们说：“这个足球。”他们就很高兴，拿着手在玩。我告诉这个叫足球，不是用手玩的。你知道他们怎么说呢？他说：“这个足球是不是用抓的？方言贵叫抓球。”刚巧那一年大方县举办中小学生运动会第一次，然后我作为一个一直来的一个球迷，我就想让这些孩子组建个足球队，于是我就在元宝小学组建了这个男女足球队。然后经过志愿者、经过老师们的持续的就是陪伴，在没有球场、在土包的上面的情况下，陪他们练了3个月。这些孩子学习成绩不怎么样，他们的性格大多数也是留守儿童，然后交流能力也不是特别强。可是超乎你的想象，通过3个月的陪伴以后，我们在大方县第1届中小学生运动会中，这些孩子居然爆发出了惊人的战斗力，然后包揽了小学组的男女足球的冠军。一下子我就觉得作为一个志愿者就找到了一个新的途径。足球特别适合山里的孩子，于是我就在元宝小学从2017年开始就给他们组建了建立梯队，慢慢的发展，足球队到现在已经有90多号人了。
Winning games after only 3 months of training was no mean feat. They started from scratch and trained from dawn to dusk against the odds. Sweat, tears, and perseverance.
我们每天有早训，然后呢，下午也训，晚上也训练，中午就是我们休息时间，大约是几个小时。每天的训练时间差不多就是几个小时。然后呢，趣事的话，应该就是我们会一起讨论那些足球明星他们的一些搞笑的事呀，很多。
And Xu Jingwen never imagined that one day she and her teammates would meet those big names and play football in front of him. Brazilian football icon Ricardo Kaká has been to China before, but this time it feels different. He's here for a friendly match between 2 schoolgirls teams for a charity project. He also gave training lessons to the girls from Tsinghua University Primary School in Beijing and Yuanbao Experimental School from Guizhou Province. And here comes Team Yuanbao. The match was impressive. The girls really touched me in the heart. As a former youth footballer myself, I was in tears at some point watching these girls play, seeing how the passion for football is transforming the lives of these young girls, many of whom come from very humble beginnings. Their seriousness, their stamina, and of course, their goals. Kaká was also sitting there cheering for those girls. As a former Ballon d'Or, he inspired so many for so long. And now the girl players are having the time of their lives playing in front of Kaká. And surprises don't just stop there.
那我听说今天元宝足球队的很多孩子还会有一个非常特殊的一个礼物，是不是？接下来他们会去到哪里？
我们会安排元宝足球队的孩子们跟卡卡一起去到伊斯坦布尔，去近距离的现场的去观看我们的欧冠决赛，这样呢能够进一步开阔他们的视野，加深他们对足球的理解。我们希望呢通过大家共同的努力，能够共同去助力这种青少年足球在我国的发展。体育公益呢一直是我们努力的方向。那么通过今年的Reno10的这一个公益的计划呢，我们预计会落地9所足球学校。我们希望能够持续不懈的努力，跟业界同仁们一起来促进这种体育事业，特别是足球事业在中国的发展。
The Champions League final, the biggest match of the year, has just concluded, where Manchester City beat Inter Milan 1-0. We got this video from Coach Xu and the girls.
怎么样？场地怎么样？热很大，热闹不热闹？热闹。哎，你看了心里有什么想法？被震撼了没有？球场怎么样？啊，惊喜不惊喜？有什么想说的？
欧冠决赛太让人。
He shared the excitement as they're watching the final at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul last Saturday. The joy was genuine and beyond any word can describe. Such is the power of sport. Such is the power of football.
我长大后，我想应该会一直踢足球，成为一名职业的足球运动员。我想成为 C 罗、徐欢他们那样子的足球运动员。
我们的队长小雨吴宇杰同学，有人在采访他的时候，他平时都不会对我讲这些细节。他讲了一句话，但是他最想做的事情，将来他踢球成为一个教练，回来接替我的工作。
Kaká, welcome to CGTN on China Media Group.
Thank you very much.
You know, I'm the envy of so many of your fans who text me, leaving a comment on social media. This is a much coveted place that I'm in right now. I feel really fortunate. I grew up watching you, so thank you for being an inspiration.
Thank you again for this opportunity. Every time that I come here in China, it's a unforgettable experience. So thank you very much again.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that you have been in China for a number of times. You lost count.
Yeah.
How has it been for you this time around?
This time it's a little bit different because I came with OPPO invitation for a charity game. So really nice to see the kids playing football. I love football, and football for me it's much more than just a game. So to see these kids playing, having fun on the field, enjoying with the ball, and getting the values of football, for me it's really, really nice. So this time it's been different.
Yeah, the girl that you picked as the best player of the match, number 9, actually she grew up in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the remote villages in the mountains in southern China. What was it like watching her and her peers to play today?
That's awesome, because in Brazil most of the players comes from favelas as well, so very difficult situation, and they find in football the opportunity to dream, to go for something, to change their lives, and also get the good values of these sports to change their character. So to see that girl playing with so much love, for me was a great experience and inspiration.
Do you see similarities somehow between the Chinese culture and the Brazilians? Of course, when it comes to the passion for football, but also, there are different stages of development.
Yeah, I do see a lot of similarities. I think Brazil and China, we have these difficulties for a lot of people, but at the same time, they are happy people trying to realize and try to get their dreams, and so using the creativity and using the strength. So I think we are very blessed that we have people like that to give us inspiration.
Tell us a bit about your OPPO Global Ambassadorship. Why did you decide to come on board with this program, and which brought you to China, obviously?
Well, I'm really happy to this partnership. So I think the values that we have, it's very similar. And now the campaign for OPPO, it's miracle don't just happen. They are made. In my career, I witnessed a lot of miracles, and I know that you can create the situation to see the miracles on and off the pitch. So for me, it's more about the values of the brand and the content that we can share.
Mm-hmm. Excuse my Portuguese, but in your country, I think there's a term called "joga bonito."
Perfect. Yes, that's awesome. Perfect.
No, say it for me,
Joga bonito.
Joga bonito. We're fascinated by this term because it represents something different from our culture, for example, where when we grew up, we were told to train hard, to have discipline, to work very, very hard. But in your country, kids were brought up to worship this concept of jogar bonito, to play beautiful games. What is your understanding of this concept?
For us, football it's when, of course, you are young. It's more about love and passion. It's play for fun. Go on the beach, put some coconuts like a goal, have a ball, and enjoy with your friends. So, or you can go on the street, put 2 sandals as a goal, and just having fun with your friends and teammates. So for us, it's like that. It's part of our culture to enjoy life through sports. And of course, after that, you can also go towards the professional career. And then for us, I think Joga Bonito is something like that. It's about creativity, it's enjoying and having fun on the field.
But obviously, Team Brazil has a bit of challenges these days, ever since you left the squad. The last time Team Brazil lifted the trophy was when you were on board in 2002. You were barely 20, right? You were 19?
Yes, 20.
20. When you replaced Rivaldo?
Yeah.
And replaced for that was a fateful moment.
Oh, was an amazing moment for me. 20 years old, playing a World Cup. And of course, I had the opportunity to win that World Cup. So with those guys, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Cafu, what an amazing players, amazing team. And so for me, as a 20 years old boy, starting my career was, of course, one of the best experiences that I had.
And you earlier said that you used to play FIFA video game using Rivaldo. And now you're replacing him on the pitch.
It's incredible because when I got called for the World Cup, I didn't met those guys before. Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Rivaldo,
really?
Ronaldinho, those guys that played in Europe, because I was playing in Brazil and I was just played for a national team in Brazil. So when I went to the World Cup, I met them in Barcelona for the first time. So when I saw them coming for the the breakfast, I used to play PlayStation with these guys, and now I'm sitting in the same table. We are gonna play a World Cup together. So it's something that football can give to us. One day it's your idol, and another day it's your friend.
So do you still remember the first things that Ronaldo or Roberto Carlos said to you during that breakfast?
No, actually, but I do remember they are coming and I'm just staring on them. So, and of course it was something incredible for me, and I was just looking at them and trying to understand what was happening at the moment.
Do you still get the emotions when you think about the 2002 victory, even though you were 19 years old?
Yes, I do have still emotions when I see pictures, when I see films or something that remembers me that moment. For me, it's always brings me a lot of good emotions. 2002 was really amazing.
But what happened to Team Brazil, Kaká? Ever since 2002, there has been a 20-year-long absence, one of the longest in Brazil's history, for it to lift the World Cup trophy. It got stopped in quarterfinals, except 2014, by European teams, Belgium, the Netherlands, France, and recently Croatia. What went wrong?
It's really hard to say one thing. Of course, I think it's we need to improve. We need to change something. We need to coming back to our identity. But to say one thing, I think it's really hard. The last World Cup, I think Brazil played really well against Croatia. Just one moment during the game that we lost concentration. They tied the game and then PKs and we lost. So every situation is different, every game was different, but of course for us it's a little bit sad to think that we have players and we have coaches, we have the possibility to go forward in a World Cup, and of course always to win a World Cup, and it's not happening. So I hope in 2026 we have a better chance and go forward.
Hopefully. And that's also the hope of many Chinese. In 2006, you led what many people consider to be the dream team of Brazil. Unfortunately, Zidane had this faithful free kick, and Henry scored, and there was 1-0. What was it like?
As I said, it's really hard to say one thing, but in 2006, I think I already said that before, but I think we could improve our chances to win. So the preparation we could have done a little bit better. But it's anyone's fault, everybody's fault, I think. So everybody could do something different. Players, coaches, the association, everybody has your part on it. But as I said, the only thing that we can do is increases our chances to win. We never control the result, and we lost against France, an amazing team with amazing players. So the World Cup's about that. It's about details that you are playing with the best players around the world.
And also playing beautifully versus playing to win. Do you think there are two different things? Because many consider your style to be one that is marked by discipline, by execution, and efficiency. Your passes, your way to dribble, simply the ability to deliver. But some folks on your team are not necessarily, belonging to that camp. Do you think there's such a difference between playing beautifully and playing to win? And maybe Team Brazil can focus more on playing to win these days.
I think Brazil now, most of the players plays in Europe already, so they are used to play to win. So in the big clubs, big tournaments, Champions League, and so we are used to play for win. And I think it's fair. It's nice. But as I said before, I don't think we lost a little bit our identity. So we need to recuperate that using the Joga Bonito with playing to win. So I think we can mix that. In 2002 was like that. We played a really, really well game, very good, beautiful game, and we played for win.
Indeed, very nice. Let's talk about the fact that, in your opinion, what do you think is the strongest Team Brazil in the past 30 years, let's say, since 1994? Which team was the strongest?
I think probably the teams that won the World Cup, so 1994 and 2002, because team is not just about talent. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of ingredients that you need to put together to win a World Cup. So I think 1994 and 2002.
Also, you talk about Europe. Europe has arguably the world's most developed football market. The top talents all go to Europe. And if you look at the World Cup history, even though Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay won World Cups, but many of the South American players later on, like yourself, chose to go to Europe. Why do you think, what is it about the European football that made it the center of the football universe?
Well, I think that Champions League is something that it's really amazing, that every player wants to play one day, and to hear that song before the game.
That was a beautiful one.
It's something that it's incredible. This music creating in Champions League, the desire to play that tournament, and it's because it's the place that the best players are playing. So you wanna stay with the best. You wanna play with the best, and this kind of competition makes you to increase and go forward and try to do things better than you are used to. So I think that's it. You want to be and you want to play with the best players around the world. And in Europe right now, this is the place.
Having won a Ballon d'Or, the World Cup, and UEFA Champions League, and also a Serie A, Italian Cup multiple times, you're among the very, very few players in the world who have achieved all of that above. What do you want to say to the young kids watching this program who strive to be another Kaká?
Well, if you dream for something or if you desire something, go for it. So it's something like that. And also, I never thought that I could achieve that, to win the Ballon d'Or and play for AC Milan and Real Madrid. The only thing that I wanted it was to be a professional football player for São Paulo, the team that I grew up, play one day with my national team, and I achieved much more than I could expect. So, but just doing that day by day, training hard and focused and very straight and directed on my targets. So this is something that I tried, and it was really good, I think.
You know, we've been talking to quite a number of athletes. I've always curious about this question. How much of success do you attribute to talent and how much to hard work?
That's a very good question. I think it's a mix of that. So talent, if you don't have talent, it's really hard. So when you have talent, you need hard work to develop your talent. So I think it's a mix between those two things that make it happen. So what is the percentage? I don't know. I played with a lot of talented players that they don't work it so well, and I saw it's a shame that these guys are not trying so hard to develop their talent. And I played with some guys that the talent is just a small talent, but they played really hard, they trained really hard, and they achieved a lot of things. So it's a balance and mix.
You know, there are a lot of Chinese followers of yours who have some questions for you. For example, Xiaoxin022 is his nickname, and she asks, Kaká seems to love his fellow teammate who have a bald head. Can you ask him which bald head he has ever touched feels the best? Was it Ronaldo or Fenomenos?
Well, it was Ronaldo Fenomeno and Roberto Carlos. Although Roberto Carlos' bald was really, really good to touch.
They love it too, right? They just let you do it.
Yeah, it's okay, no problem to touch their bald. Yeah.
There's another friend on the internet by the name of 就要吃土泡泡的肥皂, and this is Chinese, of course. He or she asks, how can China qualify for the World Cup?
Well, I think it's a long-term project here in China. You need to develop the youth team and then take a little bit along this path to arrive in the first team. So in my opinion, it's something like that. But of course, China already played the World Cup in 2018.
Oh, right, against you.
Against Brazil. So I don't think it's an amazing thing that China could do. Of course, they did it once, they can do again. But more for the development of football, I think you guys should think about a long-term project, because in these days today, not just here, everywhere, we want something very fast and quick, and to develop talent, you need some time.
What do you still remember from the 2002 match when China played Brazil and we lost 0-4, of course?
Yeah, I remember.
You watched it up close.
4 R's, the goals, no? Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Roberto Carlos. And I do remember also the Roberto Carlos goals was incredible. The free kick.
I think that registers 179 kilometers or something per hour.
Yeah, this is the thing that I remember of that game. Of course, I was on the bench waiting to play that game. Unfortunately.
Does it feel like a vacation back then?
But it was really good to watch my teammates playing a very good game and also against a very good country.
some rapid-fire questions, if you don't mind, Kaká. Who is the most impressive striker you've ever played with?
Ronaldo phenomenon. He was the most impressive. The ability that he had to create the play in his head and the ability to execute the play, the action, was just incredible.
Who was the toughest defender you've ever played against?
Fabio Cannavaro. He was the worst. The best and the worst, no, the worst to play against, and one of the best. He was really fast and strong. And
what is your proudest, most satisfying football moment in your career?
The World Cup in 2002 and the Champions League in 2007.
What is the saddest football moment?
Not one as well, I would say three. So when we lost in 2006 against France, 2010 when we lost against Netherlands, and 2005 when Milan lost against Liverpool in Istanbul again.
What is the most difficult match you ever played?
I think it was 2006 against France, because we had a very, very good team, very talented team, but France played really well. Zidane just dancing on the field, so it was incredible. So very, very tough, because we had a very good team. We could beat them, but at the game, they just played really well.
When can Brazil win the World Cup again?
2026.
One word to describe Cristiano Ronaldo.
Amazing.
One word to describe Ronaldinho.
Fantastic.
One word to describe Ronaldo, the phenomenal.
It's alegria, it's joy. For me, it was just joy.
His haircut in 2002 was
Cascão. It was young.
Who is the current best young player in your opinion? Most promising one?
Vinicius Jr. For me, he's the most impressive right now.
What do you love the most about China or the Chinese culture? Anything?
People. So the Chinese fans, and every time that I come here, as I said before, it's really impressive. So I've stopped playing almost 6 years already. So every time that I come here, it seems that I'm gonna play tomorrow. So the caring and the love that the supporters shows towards me, I hope I can retribute that with a lot of words and love as well. Love you guys, I love you.
Finally, as a father of two, I'm having a hard time convincing my daughter, whom you saw, 3-year-old Olivia, and also 1-year-old Bruce, to play football. Been one of the most successful players ever played this game. Why football?
Well, for me, football, it's a one sport, of course, but these values that we can find in football, love and passion, respect, team work, perseverance, discipline. So for me, those things, it's keeping helping me to be a better person. So this is why football. This is why I cheer for my kids as well, not to be a professional football player, but to use football to build a better character, a better person.
Once a legend, always a legend. I was impressed by Kaká's candor and folksy manner throughout this interview. Apparently he loved everything Brazilian, but he also shared his honest opinions about how Team Brazil can improve to win the next World Cup. Now, it is my turn to be his fan.
Can I have the humble opportunity? Can I humbly request the opportunity of you teaching me how to pass?
You're gonna be the Inzaghi?
So the key is to hit it at the right place, right?
Yeah, it's to look where you wanna pass
and
try to be accurate.
But how can you do the curve in a high-speed environment in the game with defenders?
Training. You need to be ready for that.